You got paid today. The money hit your account. For a few hours, you felt something close to safe. And then, somehow, by the end of the month, it was gone again. Maybe you blame yourself. Not enough discipline. Not enough willpower. If you were just a little stronger, a little smarter with money, everything would be different. But the real answer is far stranger than a lack of willpower. Your brain is doing exactly what it was built to do. You were not designed to be rich. You were designed to survive. And those are two very different things. For almost the entire history of your species, wealth as you know it did not exist. There were no savings accounts, no compound interest, no retirement waiting 40 years away. Your ancestors lived in a world where the future was a rumor and the only guarantee was right now. In that world, the smartest thing you could do with a windfall was use it immediately. Eat the food before it rots. Share the kill before it spoils. Take the reward in front of you because tomorrow was never promised. Your brain still runs that ancient program. It just runs it inside a supermarket. Think about how a sale feels. 50% off. Something in your chest leans forward. You feel like you're gaining something, winning something, even as money leaves your hands. That feeling is old, much older than money itself. And to understand it, you have to meet the machinery underneath. In the late 1960s, a psychologist named Walter Mischel sat small children down at a table at Stanford. In front of each child, he placed a single marshmallow. The deal was simple. You can eat this one now. Or, if you wait a few minutes until I come back, you can have two. Then he left the room and watched. Some children ate it instantly. Some covered their eyes, turned around, sang to themselves, did anything to survive the wait. And when Mischel followed these children through the years, a pattern seemed to emerge. The ones who could wait tended to fare better later, in school, in health, in the slow accumulation of small good outcomes that quietly builds a life. It's tempting to hear that and think it's about character, about some children simply being born better than others. But look closer. Waiting is not natural. Waiting is a skill your brain resists because for most of human history, waiting could get you killed. The child who grabbed the marshmallow was not weak. That child was ancient. So why does your brain treat a future dollar as worth so much less than a dollar today? The answer has a name. Your mind applies a steep discount to the future. A reward you can have right now is vivid, loud, almost physical. The exact same reward 1 year from now is a faint pencil sketch, thin and easy to ignore. Your brain isn't comparing the two fairly. It's comparing a fireworks display to a whisper, and it chooses the fireworks nearly every time. And this is why the single most powerful force in personal finance is the one your brain cannot feel. Compound interest. Money that quietly grows on top of itself, slowly at first, then astonishingly fast. On paper, it is the closest thing to magic the modern world offers, but it lives entirely in the future, in the whisper, in the pencil sketch. Your ancestors never watched a single seed become a forest across 30 patient years, so your brain has no instinct for it. The reward is too far away, too abstract, too quiet to compete with the fireworks of right now. The math is on your side. Your wiring is not. There's a chemical reason for this. The reward system in your brain fires hardest, not in the moment you get the thing, but in the moment you anticipate it. The lean toward the checkout. The thrill of add to cart. The little rush of the sale. That surge was designed to push your ancestors toward food, toward shelter, toward mating, toward anything that helped them survive the day. It was never designed to help you fund an account you won't touch for decades. So it doesn't. It pulls you, again and again, toward now. But there is something even deeper wired into you, and it quietly poisons every money decision you make. In 1979, two researchers, Daniel Kahneman and Amos Tversky, discovered something strange about the human mind. Losing hurts more than winning feels good, much more. Lose $100, and the sting is roughly twice as intense as the pleasure of finding 100. Your brain is not a calculator. It is an alarm system, and it is tuned to danger, not to opportunity. Now watch what that does to your money. Saving to your ancient brain can feel like a loss. You had something, and now it's locked away, out of reach, removed from the world of right now. Spending feels like a gain, even when it's the very thing draining you. The wiring is backwards for the world you actually live in. You feel it every single day, and you have never once seen its shape. And it gets worse, because every time your income rises, your wants quietly rise to meet it. The raise you fought for becomes a nicer car, a bigger apartment, a slightly better version of the life you already had. The finish line moves the moment you reach it. You run faster, and the horizon runs with you. This is why people who earn far more than you still feel broke. The hunger is not about the number. The hunger is the point. Now add one more force, and this one only springs when money gets tight. Two researchers, Senthil Mullainathan and Eldar Shafir, spent years studying what scarcity does to the human mind, not just to your bank account, to your actual thinking. What they found should change how you see poverty forever. When you don't have enough, your mind narrows. It locks onto the problem directly in front of you, the bill, the deadline, the empty tank, and it tunnels. Everything outside that tunnel goes blurry. The long-term plan, the patient decision, the careful budget, all of it fades because your brain is screaming about the emergency directly ahead. They tested this with farmers in India who harvested sugarcane once a year. Before the harvest, these farmers were poor, stretched, anxious about money. After the harvest, the same farmers were flush, same people, same fields. But when the researchers measured their thinking, something remarkable appeared. Before harvest, while poor, the farmers scored dramatically lower on tests of reasoning and self-control. It was as if scarcity itself had quietly stolen a piece of their intelligence. Sit with that for a moment. Being short on money doesn't just empty your wallet, it taxes your mind. It makes the exact kind of clear, patient, long-term thinking you'd need to escape feel almost impossible to reach. Poverty isn't only a lack of money, it's a lack of mental room. And the less room you have, the tighter the trap becomes. Is it any wonder the pattern repeats? Is it any wonder the advice to just save more so often fails? You are not fighting a bad habit. You are fighting a brain under siege, running software written for a world that no longer exists. Here's the part almost nobody tells you. None of this is a flaw. Every instinct working against your wealth was once the very thing keeping your ancestors alive. The urge to spend the windfall now protected them from losing it to theft, to rot, to a rival. The dread of loss kept them cautious in a world full of real, physical danger. The tunnel vision of scarcity focused every scrap of their energy on the crisis that could kill them by nightfall. These were not bugs, they were features. Brilliant, life-saving features, running now in a world that changed faster than your biology ever could. Your brain is not broken. It is simply very, very old. So what actually separates the people who build wealth from the people who don't? For a long time, the story went that it was willpower, grit, that some people just wanted it more. But when you study the people who escape the pull of these instincts, you find something quieter and far more interesting. They rarely win by force. They win by design. They don't rely on feeling disciplined every single day because they know that feeling is fragile. Instead, they change the environment their brain lives in. They make saving automatic, so the money leaves before the ancient urge to spend it ever wakes up. They put distance between themselves and the reward, the way that child covered their eyes to survive the marshmallow. They build even a small cushion because they understand that a little breathing room restores the very thinking scarcity steals. They don't try to beat their brain in a fair fight. They rig the fight before it begins. They are not stronger than you. They have simply stopped fighting their instincts head on and started outsmarting them. Think about how strange this is. The whole culture around you insists that money is about intelligence, about secrets, about learning the one trick nobody told you. But your ancestors weren't defeated by ignorance. They were shaped by their environment. And so are you. The endless notifications, the one-click purchase, the sale that disguises spending as saving, the credit card, which is really a time machine that lets you borrow from a future self your brain doesn't quite believe is real. Every one of these is a lever, pulling on wiring older than farming. older than language, older than money itself. You are living inside a machine engineered to trigger the exact instincts that once kept your species alive. Think of the subscriptions you forgot you had, the small, painless monthly charges, each one too tiny to trip the alarm of loss, quietly draining you in the dark. That is not an accident. That is design meeting instinct. Your brain stands guard against the big, sudden loss it evolved to fear and waves the slow, silent one straight through. You never chose that wiring, but once you can see it, something shifts. Because the moment you understand that the pull towards spend it now is not weakness but memory, you can stop hating yourself for feeling it. The shame lifts. And in its place comes something far more useful: strategy. You stop asking, why can't I just be better? You start asking a better question. How do I build a world where my ancient brain and my modern goals finally point in the same direction? That question is the beginning of everything. So watch yourself the next time a windfall arrives. Notice the lean, the pull, the quiet voice that says, you've earned this, take it now. That voice is 100,000 years old. It kept someone alive long enough for you to exist. You don't have to obey it, but you can thank it. And then you can do the one thing your ancestors never could because they never had the chance. You can wait. You got paid today. The money hits your account. And for the first time in your life, you understand exactly what your brain is about to try to do with it.